Everyone, Newsday Meteorologist Leanne Byer here, and today we are here to talk about rainbows and how exactly they form. So this was something that always interested me. It was one of the reasons why I got into meteorology. I was always fascinated by how exactly these formed. And maybe there is someone out there who doesn't quite exactly know how a rainbow is formed, so let's talk about it. So I'm going to advance this. This was taken by our chief meteorologist, Eric Snidel, who saw this rainbow overlooking Irondequoit Bay back in September of 2023, which at this point seems like a very long time ago. But they're beautiful. I love looking at them, and whenever I see one, I have to grab my phone. But let's talk about exactly how they form, how many colors there actually are, and what exactly makes a double rainbow. So let's talk about how many colors there are. For the longest time, I thought that there were only 6 colors, as most people do think. I thought they were red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet. And that's actually not the case. There are actually 7 colors in the rainbow, and they are red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. And so sometimes people get confused with the order of the appearance of colors, as well as just how many colors there are and what colors they are. So a really easy acronym to remember is Roy G. Biv. So it also goes in the order in which the colors appear in the rainbow, as well as the first letter of each color in the rainbow. So I always found that interesting when I always was trying to remember things. Acronyms are a way that I learn things, and so whenever I was studying for school, I would always come up with acronyms. So I hope that helps you guys. And that's also used probably by a lot of meteorologists as well. I did not come up with that. I just want to say that. So we'll head on. So what exactly makes a rainbow? So we have something called the visible light spectrum, and we kind of talked about this a little bit when we were discussing why exactly our eyes perceive the sky as blue when it's really all white light. And it's kind of the same thing. So when the light is reflected down at a certain angle, it shows different colors of the sky. So that's kind of why we see blue skies, because of the angle it's refracted at and the amount of short waves. Now, we don't have to worry about those long wave short waves today. We just have to talk about the angle. So there's this phenomenon called refraction, and basically it just means the scattering of light. We'll call it like that. So basically how a rainbow is formed is it's the result of both light from the sun and just the right atmospheric conditions. We all know that a rainbow is formed really like just right after a rainstorm, if not during the rainstorm. So having those little particles, rain droplets we can call them, in the sky at the right time and place results in a rainbow. So as the sunlight enters the inside of a rain droplet, the light slows down and it bends, so almost kind of like an angle. And to get technical with things, it's precisely a 42-degree angle. So when the light enters it, it almost slows down, and that's why rainbows never appear perfectly clear, as you can see in this photo. It's because it's not. It's being reflected or refracted off of a rain droplet. So you don't get exactly clear photos. So then the light exits, obviously, and produces a rainbow. So you really, like I said, you really can only typically see rainbows either during a rainstorm or immediately after. And you notice that they don't last too long. Well, that's because the atmosphere has to have just the right conditions, and those conditions don't last too long. But let's talk about something that I personally learned not too long ago, and that is, how does a double rainbow form? So this was also taken by our chief meteorologist, Eric Snidel, and you can see his lovely pet husky, Bolt, in that photo. I love this photo, and this was one of the first times that Eric showed me that he was really into photography. And so it's generally the same concept. So right after a rainstorm or during a rainstorm, light is refracted off of a rain droplet. The light enters and goes inside, but instead of only hitting it once, it's actually reflected twice inside that rain droplet. So the angle at which the first rainbow appears is that 42-degree angle, but then the second rainbow, the light enters at a 50-degree angle, or it creates a 50-degree angle. So that's kind of why that is kind of why. But something else that I learned, and this is what I learned. If you look at the difference between the first rainbow and the second rainbow, you can see that the colors in the second rainbow are actually reversed. So if you're looking at it, the reds are closest together, then the orange, then the yellow, then the green, and etc. So it's actually being reflected, which you look at things sometimes, you don't quite realize them, and that was something that I just never put together. So it's literally the light being reflected off of the rain droplet and casting a shadow of sorts. So it's almost like a mirrored image. So I hope you guys learned something new today. I like doing these, and if you guys ever have any questions, you can feel free to email me, or you can even find me on X or X or Facebook. Send me a message. I am so happy to answer any of your guys' questions, and I'll see you guys later.